Well, welcome to the show, everybody. This is Tom Paolino. He's a filmmaker. He's got some great projects. He's a very creative guy, and I'm very happy to have him. And we were connected by some mutual friends here over at Indie Rights. Big fan of theirs.
Yeah.
So love having their people over here. It's an honor and always a privilege to have you on. Tom, please welcome to the show. Tell everyone a little bit about yourself, and let's get the
Yeah.
party started.
Yeah. No, listen, it's green lights, clear skies, dude. I did my research. I watched Washington Avenue.
Thank you.
I,
I love supporting my fellow independents out there, and we're a loyal bunch here. And I love to hear about your journey. Tell us about your project. How'd you get involved? Tell us about the whole thing,
yeah,
man.
well, it's just like Freddie Gano in Washington Avenue. I mean, I decided I wasn't going to be a Veal and Peppers guy, nobody the rest of my life. And you make a decision, Vinny, like you put it on your post, you say, you make it happen, and I had it in my mind to make an independent film for a long time. I did an episode of Law and Order, and I got a Facebook message from a guy in Buffalo who said, will you read my script? Next thing I knew, I raised 18K on GoFundMe, shot a proof of concept. That was April 11th of 2023. I took that footage because nobody wants to read, but they'll watch something. I took that 4 minute and 17 second piece of footage and raised the money to make the feature, shot at 10 days in Buffalo. And now I'm flying to South Africa because we just got a worldwide theatrical deal through a cinema chain in Africa. And so we've got our digital worldwide deal through Indie Rights, and now we've got a theatrical deal through CineCenter out in South Africa. So it's crazy. I mean, it's all because I made a decision to make a film, and to make a film that I would want to own and be proud of. Like you can't please everybody. I just wanted something that had some meaning. I'm not a spring chicken. I want to leave a legacy, and this is my legacy. Like this film, I'm really proud of it, man. It's 84 minutes long. I hope you share the link. I've got 10 investors. I want to make those guys their money back plus 20%. And I worked harder than I've ever worked in my life to get that film together, and I'm proud of it.
Love it, man. I'm sure where they can find it, please. Real fast.
Yeah, so it's called One of the Good Ones, and it's a comedy drama. It's on Prime Video right now. It's available on Tubi, on Google Play. But really, we want to channel people to the TVOD, to the transactional video on demand, where they can rent and buy, like I said, so I can make my guys' money back plus 20%. And so go to Amazon Prime, go to Prime Video, and bang, One of the Good Ones. There are two One of the Good Ones on Prime Video. Ours is the one made in 2026, and you'll see me grabbing a guy by the neck. You can't miss it. I have no hair when we shot it, but I still don't have much hair. But I was bald at at that point, and we had great time, dude. We had 14 crew members, 34 actors, 95% of them were from Buffalo. We stimulated the economy. Everybody was is fast friends, and we won the audience award at our very first film festival, the eighth annual International Film Festival at Dunedin, and that was in January. And yeah, dude, I mean, it's been a wild ride.
Listen, I love everything you're saying to me. I'm like soaking it up, and I'm reflecting a little bit on my own experiences. And I love it, man. I know how you feel. It's like, how do you start? How do you find people to make this happen? And where do you find the money? Where do you find the cast and crew?
Well,
And you
I'll
know
tell
what,
you,
man? Everything just comes together.
yeah, I mean, it's really about the people and the decision that I made. I'll give you an example, Vinny. So, I'd never made a film before, someone said to me, "Oh, it's so hard to raise money, so hard." And look, I'm not stupid. I know what the statistics are, but something in me said the belief that it's so hard is not going to help me raise over $100,000 to make this film. And so, what I did at my pitch meetings was I just went in there with a list internally. I made a list of why my film was a gift to the world. And actually, it's right there on my vision board. I'll show it to you. This is my vision board. I have a vision board here in my room. And one of those documents there's Al Pacino in Serpico. I've got Judd Hirsch in Ordinary People, one of my, because I'm primarily an actor, right? Like acting is my thing. So these are performances that I love dearly. And then in one of those papers, I'll friggin' get right up and show it to you. Why my film is a gift to the world, right? And here it is. It brings Buffalo back from a dark period. Humor is healing, and the world needs healing. Persistence is the secret of all success. And it goes on and on. It helps recovering perfectionists relax into their own skin. It provides a platform for people to collaborate. It proves that movies don't need gratuitous violence or sex to succeed. It helps people feel less alone. I went in, these are very personal, emotional things, right? And I know how to manipulate, not manipulate, but use my own emotions. And I fired those guns before those pitch meetings. And it's contagious. I had two of my investors were like, how do I invest? I didn't even ask them. They asked me because I had really primed the pump of why my film is a gift to the world, you know? And I looked at like Washington Avenue, which your film, which I just watched, right? I was like, I know why that's a gift to the world because it's authentic South Philly, the Italian market, the people, the community, the family, the bonds, right? That's the stuff. But that's really what it is. Yeah.
Thank you, Tom. I appreciate, I appreciate you watching. I appreciate, you reference, and it means a lot. Thank you. Yeah, well, look, stories, I love being a storyteller, right? So maybe I'm lesser of an actor, more of a really primary. I love writing. I love screenwriting. I love being a storyteller,
Yeah.
producer. But I think, and you might agree here. I think you want to do something that's cathartic, that you put some of your own guts out there, and you feel good, and somehow it changes you, even as the person who's behind the camera, someone who's making. You want the audience and yourself. You want a movie to change you in some sort of way.
100%. We have instincts, right? Then we need the courage of our convictions. I mean, I had to really stiffen my spine on my film because sometimes someone doesn't work out. Sometimes you have a disagreement with an investor. And the courage of my convictions, I mean, man, I grew. As exactly what you're saying. It's like you become. Heroes are made. They're not born, they're made. So you become through facing your own fears and trusting your own instincts and moving forward.
Thank you, and I couldn't agree more. Really, and anybody's watching this, by the way, please make sure you follow Tom. My man right here is a great guy. Make sure you're following and supporting all of his wonderful work and his posts. And when you watch the movie, make sure you're also leaving a review. Very important to leave great reviews for these filmmakers because it means a lot and it does matter. The excitement over independent films.
Yeah.
And I love, again, we mentioned indie rights. I mean, they're like always out in front supporting the little guys. That's why I'm always a fan of theirs, too.
100%, man. This is our time, dude. No question about it. And I think it comes down to believing you have something to say, something to offer. And everybody has something to offer. Everybody has something to say. Maybe someone told you along the way you don't. That's not true. Everybody's here for a purpose, for a reason, and let's go.
Tom, I want to ask you two quick questions. One of them being, what was the most rewarding part of making that film? And then the second one would be, what was the most challenging part of making that film?
Yeah, those are good questions, buddy.
Let's answer the challenging part first, though.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you, the most challenging part was that I'm not an accountant, right? So I made some honest mistakes. I'll give you an example. In the rip and roar of making an independent film, I paid for the insurance on the film out of my personal funds and then reimbursed through the business account. You can't do that. It messes up the accounting for tax purposes, etc. And one of my investors, thank God, called me on it. I tracked my time then. I took 117 hours and did a forensic accounting to make sure that every penny was accounted for. And that was not easy. I'll tell you, that took every last ounce of strength and fortitude that I had. But it's show business, right? So you can't just play the show and not play the business. And thank God for her because as a result of that investor, I got those numbers crystal clear. And you know what, Vinny? A vision without solvency is a hallucination. Proud to say I have a solvent film. I didn't use any credit cards. I didn't borrow any money from any family or anything like that. The film was made and shot solvently. And that means that the system is oxygenated, right? That the thing can rise. And that's what we got. And the most rewarding thing about it, well, geez, that's a great question. I think for me personally, this is really my child. Like this film is my legacy, and I've done a lot of things, a lot of things on stage and on screen. And I've gotten to the point where I really only want to do things that I can be proud of. I'm not going to go do a horror film with gratuitous nudity. I'm just not going to do it. I don't care how much money they'll pay me. I really don't want to do that. I want to hit my pillow at night knowing that I didn't sell my soul. You know what I mean? That my soul is intact. And I think for me, the most rewarding thing is that this is a film about keeping promises. I firmly believe that this world is in a major league crisis, dude. Major crisis. I call it a crisis of hope. You know, nobody trusts anybody. Everybody's yelling at each other. It's a mess. And I want to be a part of the solution. So for me, the solution, let's keep our promises to each other. You make a promise to your buddy Vinny, keep the promise, dude. And God forbid civil servants keep promises to the public. That's even more, it's all important. But I really think the way to come back as a species is to start keeping promises. And that's what the film is about. And so I get, chills just saying it. The most rewarding thing is I made something that is part of the solution, my vision of the solution.
And I think that is exactly what we need more of. And I feel the same way about Washington Avenue. The one thing about
Yeah.
this podcast is it's a hobby, really. And it's no, it's not like I'm Joe Rogan here, but you meet such great, wonderful people like yourself that are doing it for all the right reasons. And we get it out there, and hopefully, someone who's watching this and they watch the recap of it, they'll also be, sort of uplifted and encouraged to even do something, whether it's filmmaking, whether it's whatever they're doing in their own private industry, or just make the world a better place, man. And I know it sounds like kumbaya and stuff, but
No,
we
it's
need
not,
more
Vinny.
good vibes.
You know what, Vinny? I'll tell you something. You're a teacher. I can feel your energy. And the thing about a teacher is a teacher plants seeds that you can't measure, right? So I want to encourage you because what you're doing, you may not be able to measure the impact. Just like a teacher plants a seed in students and then they go off to what they do, and the teacher, may never know or see the fruits of their labor. But trust, I would say, trust that what you're doing is making a difference, because I have a feeling that it is.
Thanks. I appreciate that, Tom. And I feel the same way about you, man. I think you got a lot of great karma behind you, man. You're putting things out there that I think are going to make some really big impacts with the people out there. So, again, guys, make sure you're following Tom over here. One more time, plug the movie, we're Amazon, plug it all, baby. Go ahead. Go, let
Yeah.
loose, Tom.
Yeah. Well, listen, man. I mean, I'll put the link
Well,
in the
just
chat.
let me interrupt you just to let everybody
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
We will, on the replay, when we do this, it'll be on my YouTube channel called Inside Hollywood with Vinny. And in the description box, we'll make sure we include all Tom's links. So this way you go right to the movie, right to his page. Make sure we're following and supporting, all right? So go ahead, Tom. Sorry I cut you off.
Yeah, no, I just want to. There's a quote that I love that I'll think of it. What the world needs is people who have come alive. So the thing I want to plug, I mean, look, people are watching my movie. We've got 119 global reviews. We've got a 4.7 out of 5 rating on Amazon Prime. The movie's all over the world. I'm not worried about the movie. Like, the movie has an audience, it's growing. It's people who want to see the underdog rise up. It's people who believe that if you put good energy out there, it'll come back. Not everybody believes that, but my audience believes that. I'm the Rocky of the legal system. That's what the movie's about. And for you Philly guys, like, what he's getting
Yeah.
punched, but he's not giving up. He's still swinging. That's the story of Dean Alessi, the part I play in one of the good ones. So that's one of the reasons I wanted to be more prepared for this, because your guys are my target audience. But the thing is that the world needs people who have come alive, right? So for me and you, it's storytelling. It might be something else for someone else. But what I want to unplug more than anything is find the thing that makes you come alive. Maybe it's being a mom. Maybe it's, I don't know, making Italian bread in the markets, or it doesn't really matter what it is. But the world needs people who have come alive, and everybody has something or some number of things that bring them to life.
I could have said it better myself. You got to be productive. You got to give something good out. You got to promote positivity. Just put something creative out there. Whether you're playing some basil or you're creating a movie, do something good for the world.
Yeah, man. I mean, what do you got going next?
Well, I tell you what, as you mentioned earlier, proof of concept. So I think Washington Avenue, we're currently developing the full screenplay with all the different kind of background, sort of the whole lead up to Freddie Gano's character there, or Sammy the Butcher, and so we have that. I'm actually writing a crime drama series that I'm partnering up with Joe Cortese with out there in LA. Great guy. Shout out to Joe Cortese. And I've got another thing called Tainted Things, which is sort of like a scary Twilight Zone kind of Friday the 13th the series, sort of series that I'm going to be writing to. So I got plenty of things to do.
Mm.
And then I also got my private life, and that's a whole other, I got I got too much going on, Tom, too much going on, but it keeps
Well,
me
I yeah.
busy.
Yeah, I get that. No, I can relate to that. And I mean, no offense, but my instinct is to be a little directive as as you Goomba here. Do that.
You're my as my Goomba sensei.
Don't postpone joy. Like don't if that's where the joy is, do that now, dude. Like you'll make money. That's how you'll make money is by going where the love is.
Yeah. Well, and the good thing too is, your imagination is something I think you got to recapture because, when we're little, we're kids, we are full of imagination. We're watching all this, sports
Yes.
or wrestling or whatever. And our brains are so filled with so much. It's amazing, really. I see my kids. I'm like, wow, I remember, life was so much, you had so much. It's a beautiful dimension to be in. As you get older, right, and you start to go to work and you start to get your heart broken, you start to get beat up by life, your imagination, you start to lose it. And then before you know, you really don't have much going on. And I think that's what drives people to dark things, But I think
Yeah.
if I actually start to retrain my brain into going back and being more and start imagining, just, being like a kid again, to an
A hundred
extent.
percent. I'll tell you something. It's funny you mentioned that because I'm doing a Shakespeare play called The Taming of the Shrew right now in Central Park. And so there's a little children's area right next to the stage. And right before I go on the stage, I watch those kids play. I watch them run into the water. I watch them shoot the water gun at each other because of exactly what you're talking about. I want to remember and feel and recapture that, and it never dies, then it's always there. So I don't know if you spend much time in nature. I'm in New York City, and after 3 years here, I was like, man, I got to get to a park, dude, or I'm going to go back to Rhode Island, like where I'm originally from. So I manifested a play in the park, and now I'm in the park all the time. And it's amazing what it does to just be around some trees and some birds. We saw the most beautiful cardinal the other day. Like, I don't know, that's what's coming up is make sure you spend a little time in, whatever, if maybe it's the ocean for, nature.
Yeah, no, nature's important, man. You have to. It changes it changes everything. I know the difference between when I'm cooped up in a building all day and then when you're in it's just night and day. But listen, Tom, you've been a great
Yeah.
guest. You really have touched me, man. I really mean that, and I'm really proud to at least get to know you on here. And I definitely would look forward to staying in touch with you, and maybe we can collaborate on things in the future. But look, in the meantime. You're doing some great things. You're making it look easy, which it's not easy at all. It sounds easy. It's very hard to make a movie, but it's very rewarding too. So, Tom, thanks again for being our guest. One more time, tell everybody where they can watch it, the name of the film, and
Yes.
anything else you'd like to mention.
One of the good ones, 2026, Prime Video, comedy drama, The Rocky of the legal system.
Now said. Well, folks, thank you for watching. Make sure that you are following both of us automatically. Follow us religiously. Like, subscribe, do all that good stuff. In the meantime, my guest has been the wonderful Tom Paolino. Thank you, Tom, for joining us. We'll see you again
My
real soon.
pleasure.
See you guys.
God bless.